Hi, I'm Sarah Bodily.
And I'm Sue Reeves.
We're excited to give you a glimpse into the admissions process for Aggies Elevated at Utah State University. This process is key to identifying students that are the best fit for our program and what supports we will need to provide once a student is on campus in our program. This is a competitive process, and as such, our capacity is limited so that we can maintain the quality of supports that we provide to each student while they're here on campus.
Aggies Elevated at Utah State University believes that all individuals, regardless of ability, have the right to meaningful employment, lifelong learning, self-determination, and full community inclusion. Utilizing the MyClimb or My Career Ladder to Independence, Maturity, and Balance person-centered planning model, Aggies Elevated students, along with invited family members and/or other stakeholders, will chart their own paths toward independence within an individualized framework of supports that identifies challenges, builds on individual strengths, and encourages personal responsibility. This is our mission statement. Because of the individualized supports offered from our program staff and other resources on campus, we have created a very thorough admissions process.
So we'll jump in to give you a big picture of what this process looks like. We do have our paper application process, then we jump into an interview, which is usually done via web conference. The top applicants are invited for a campus visit day, and then from there students are admitted and start with freshman orientation during the summer and begin classes during the fall semester. We'll discuss these 5 different aspects of our process throughout this video.
This timeline for the 2018-2019 cohort gives you an idea of the timeline we'll follow to admit for students who will start in the fall of 2018.
So the first step is our paper application. This window for applications is open right now until the 15th. Of November, so please check it out. There's still time to get your information in. Download the packet on our website, which is at the top of this slide here. There is a checklist as one of the first pages of the packet, and this will help you to keep track of all the parts and pieces of the application because we do require a lot of different parts and pieces. In the next few slides, we'll discuss individual aspects of the application that usually come up and hopefully answer your questions related to the different parts that are listed here.
One part of the application is the Aggies Elevated inventory. This helps us identify supports that are necessary for students if they are accepted into the program. We ask that the student, a parent or caregiver, and teacher or employer fill out an inventory. You rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 4, related to how well you have mastered a skill. Just because some responses may be rated weak to absent does not mean that you won't be accepted into the program. We like to look at all the skills as a whole. This helps us to identify where we might need the most supports. Please be as honest on this as possible.
Another part of our application, we do require academic records in a variety of formats. This helps us identify if the students applying will be successful in the college and academic environment that they're applying for. We do not need your IEP records from preschool all the way through post-high school. We really need information that will be helpful for us to provide the accommodations and supports that are necessary. An IEP does not replace the summary of performance, so we'll talk a little bit about what those are. So yes, we do want transcripts, any awards or records that show previous achievements, and you can include parts of the IEP. The summary of performance is additional to that, and it's required by law when a student exits a special ed program. So if you talk to a teacher or somebody that you're working with in the special education system in your school district, they should be able to provide this summary of performance. It gives future service providers recommendations on how to help students meet their post-secondary goals. It should include students' reading, writing, math, independent living, and employment skill levels. So that's why it's valuable to us, because it helps us to recognize where the student's at coming into the program. I've given an example of one district's form that they use on this. So this just goes through, it gives us information about well, the most important information is recommendations for students to reach their post-secondary goals, which is down at the bottom on this form. We want to see their goals. We want to see their academic levels. We want to see recommendations from their teachers of what they've experienced, what they're going through, and what we could help or what assistance they may need at the college level. This helps us to have one location as well for disability determination or diagnosis, as well as diploma status. So it's really just a condensed version of a lot of information that would be contained in their IEP.
We get lots of questions about the psych evaluation. Usually a psych evaluation contains academic levels, IQ results, adaptive functioning scores, and recommendations from a trained professional on supports and accommodations necessary for students to be successful. And this is a crucial part of our application process. We cannot accept students' evaluations that were completed in preschool. We're aware that measures like IQ and maybe a few others may not change, but adaptive skills, academic performance levels, and functional ability changes drastically through the years. If you have an evaluation from a school counselor that was within their IEP and feel that though it's past 3 years, it is still a valid representation of your young adult skills, please talk to us. We're willing to work with you to make sure it will work for our admissions process.
The other part of the psychoeducational evaluation that is really crucial is this provides the documentation that our disability resource centers need for you to, or for your student to get accommodations in their classes, such as testing and quiz accommodations like extended time on tests, quiet, distraction-free location to take that test. All of that can be done as long as we have this documentation. So that's another reason why we request this information. Unless you have come to campus for a tour, the web conference interview is our first chance to meet and talk to each other. We will talk to the students first without parents, and then the parents without the students, before we bring everyone together. This is also a chance for you to ask questions about our program. It's a great idea to prepare for this interview just like you would prepare for a job interview. These are a lot of fun, and I think that this is probably one of the, well, it's one of the first time that we really get to know who you are, and you get a feel for what expectations we have of students in the program, as well as we get to feel, your motivation and how excited you are to be a part of the program.
Even more fun, though, than the web interviews is the campus visit day. And this is where we invite the top applicants and one parent to attend a full day on campus. It includes participating in a college course, tours of campus by current Aggies Elevated students, panel discussions, housing information, lunch, and opportunities for questions. The opportunity for both the applicant and the program to decide if this is the best fit for you on your path to independence. The final decision for admissions is after the stay on campus, and the notification of acceptance is mailed by snail mail, so you'll get a cool letter in the mail telling you that you've been accepted.
So what's next? Once you do the parts of the application, the interview, and then come to the campus visit day, and you've been accepted to the program, you get to start being a freshman and enjoy the freshman orientation, which actually starts at the beginning of the summer before your fall semester. So for those students going through the process at this time, once you come for campus visit and you're admitted to our program, students are then expected to read a book chosen by the university as part of a freshman orientation course that all Aggies Elevated students take. We will meet regularly via webcam with myself and other Aggies Elevated staff for pre-semester instruction, and we'll discuss the book that you're supposed to be reading and help you work through that. We'll help you register for classes. You'll come and well, you'll prepare to move on campus. You'll come for actual orientation during the summertime. And get to see a little bit more of campus and meet more of the freshman students who are coming. And then when summer comes to a close, you'll actually participate in base camp and our pre-semester connections course, which is for all incoming freshmen. Excuse me, this happens the week before classes start, and classes usually begin the last week of August.
The last thing we want to mention is the value in having the student work through this process. We hope that your accepted and this program works out for you, but in the case of a student not being accepted, we hope you see the process as a learning experience and an opportunity to grow. You're always welcome to apply in subsequent years. We try to give students recommendations when a student isn't accepted, and there are many reasons for this. Students may need more time to mature. Students will have opportunities to take advantage of post-high placements that could prepare them better for future admission. They may need more independent living opportunities, or may need to work on things like hygiene, independent skills, and other domestic skills to be able to live in the dorms. Students might benefit from trying typical admission through USU or another university of their choice.
There's dignity in taking risks, and this is one of those things that we feel like is a risk. There is an opportunity in this process that you may not be accepted, but there's also this opportunity for students to learn, to grow, and to really show who they are and what they want to be. So please feel free to email us. These are our emails there, and check out our website for more information. It's loaded with great information related to our admissions process, as well as what a student does on campus as their daily living and the academics that they participate in, the fun stuff that they get to do, and the career opportunities that they get to be a part of. Please let us know if you have any questions. We would love to answer them.